In this video, we are going to introduce you to our new pre-validation tool called Agatha. This is really a tool for a first level assessment of model outputs before you go and actually do a field inspection. I just want to emphasize this video is made in January 2025, so during the year we may actually modify or upgrade some of the features and accessibility for this tool. Now in this presentation, I'll just briefly show you where Agatha fits in the bigger picture. Then we'll jump right in and I'll give you a short demonstration of what the tool is all about. And finally, I'll talk about prerequisites for use. So I want to emphasize that Agatha is still in beta testing stage and it's not yet integrated with Juno Viewer. However, if you are a client that has had a Cassandra model run on your network in 2025 or that's planning to have a Cassandra model run on your network in 2025, then we can make this tool available for you as part of your Juno subscription, and there will be no cost involved for you. So where does this pre-validation tool fit in? In a normal modeling analysis, you would typically do your model run and your model debugging on a desktop process. And then once you are ready, you will take that model outputs and it will go into the Juno Viewer field inspection where you will actually take it out into the field. So you have your work that you're going to do in the office, desktop work, and then you have your work that you are going to do in the field. Now, although Cassandra has got a lot of features to help you debug the model and find anomalies in your model, I have found that over the years that if you take your model output in the field, you often find off the bat some anomalies in the model, things that you wish you had known when you were working in the office, so that you could correct that while you were still able to modify some of the rules in your model. And that's really where this Agatha pre-validation tool fits in. So with this tool, you can actually do your model run on the desktop and then put your model outputs into the Agatha pre-validation tool. And then if you spot anything in this pre-validation tool that you don't like about the model outputs, you can loop back, you can rerun the model tool, rapidly import it again in the Agatha pre-validation tool, and keep on doing that until you're satisfied, and then get your outputs into the field inspection tool. Now you may ask, well, why don't you just use the virtual field inspection tool in Juno Viewer to do that? Well, the reason is that since Cassandra is currently outside of the Juno Viewer app, importing the ForwardWorks program into the Juno Viewer app is still requires some manual processing. But also, the Juno Viewer field inspection tool was really built, and what it excels at is detailed drill down of one section at a time. So you can really go into that section. It allows you to modify the limits of a section. You can see more than one ForwardWorks program. You can see a full historical analysis of the data, etc. And so with the current Juno Viewer field inspection tool, it's not really easy to see all of your model outputs at one glance and switch from one to the other very quickly. So the Agatha pre-validation tool makes it much easier for a modeler to actually switch from one treatment length to the next and rapidly inspect the different elements. So let's go and look at the tool, and I'll explain everything that I've said here. You should be able to see where Agatha actually fits into this process. So here I've got the Agatha app open. It's a browser-based app, so you don't need to do any installation. You need a Juno Viewer credentials to log in and use this tool, but currently it's not used directly in the Juno under the Juno website. So at the top here you will have the label that the modeler has given to this specific model output, and you can then click on load data, and it will load for you all the treatment links that have been where you have treatments allocated in. You can either select a specific treatment category or you can select a specific treatment year. Now here we are focusing on a short-term treatment period, so by default we only look at the first 3 years, but this can easily be extended by the modeler if you want to look further into the future in terms of your modeling outputs. Now when we drill down into the actual treatments, and I just want to emphasize here that this is just a dummy model output that we're looking at. So although we are looking at an actual city here in New Zealand in this case, the treatments that you're seeing there are not necessarily those that the client is going to apply, but it will serve as a way to just demonstrate for you the features. Now the first thing that you can see here is that each one of the sites that the model has assigned for treatment in year 1 is shown on the map. The black dots show committed treatments. So this is where you have already decided in your previous inspection, this is where you want to do treatments in the first year. And the red dots are then additional treatments assigned by the model in this first treatment year. Now the relative size of the dots is used to indicate for you where the spending, it's a relative indicator of the relative spending in that specific budget category. So here you can see, for example, for this budget category, there are quite significant spendings, and more on these roads as well, bigger dots. And then you can see down here you've got really small dots. Now you've got two ways to actually drill down into the data. The first way is by just clicking on the dot itself, and the Agatha will scroll down and open for you a summary card that shows you the relative rankings of the key decision parameters that we use in our local authorities model. So here you can see, for example, we've got the ADT, the traffic, number of bus routes, the pavement remaining life, heavy percent, alligator cracking, longitudinal and transverse cracking, rutting, and surface life achieved. So you can see this specific treatment length has got quite a few elements of this decision matrix in the red zone, and therefore it's quite probably a fairly relevant treatment to apply, and in that case the model has probably made a good decision. Now the one thing that Agatha excels at then is that it allows you to now go and take a really close look at that specific element that has been picked by the model. So I can click here on this details button, and then it will open for me a more detailed view of this specific road. And the pre-processing that the modeler does will extract data from the Juno database, and wherever there is something considered to be relevant as a distress, it will plot it using the GPS locations on that specific road. Now this is really important because it allows you to see whether the distress is widespread or just located at the intersection, at the start of the segment, etc. On the top here you can see still your summary ranking information. At the bottom you can see additional values where we just give you the relative intensity of the distress information on that road. And then on the right hand side here you can see the input row detail. So this is the input row that goes into the deterioration model, and we've built some handy filter values. So for example, here you can see all your distress information. If you click here, it will just filter on surfacing information. You can click here to see pavement information, or you can just clear the search and search for anything in particular like ONF category or something like that. So this is a very handy way to drill down and see what the model actually takes in when it makes decisions. And here you can then look around. So you can see we've got the Google Street View available for you here, and the Lonrix team is working hard to make also available, if you have had a video analysis taken on your network and you've got the Juno intelligence, the artificial intelligence recognition of distresses, that instead of the Google Street View we can actually show your video information in here as well. For now, this is going to be what you will have to use for the next few months. You can see here we also show what the date is that the Google images were captured. We can get that via the Google API. And then on this map, if you click around, the map will actually take you to that position. So here, for example, you can actually have a good look around, and we can see here there's quite a bit of distress, and that is also indicated by these dots over here. You can also hover over these dots and see what the distresses are that our pre-processing algorithm has picked up at that specific location. So there you can basically just see that this is probably a relevant pick by the model, and that way you can actually tick this one off as a success. Then I'll just show you one other example of how we can drill down into the data. So just going over here, for example, there's another section. You can see this card scroll down. So basically it will find in this list the card that you are looking at. And by the way, this works both ways. So if I go down to a specific model element here and I open this card, the map will automatically locate that and draw a circle around it so that you can see where that specific road is. And so you can do that with any one of the elements on your map. And then, as I said, it also works in the other direction, so that if I go, for example, towards this point, you can see it scrolls to find that card, and you can see this road has not got that high traffic, but it does have quite a few bus routes, which is quite important, and there's quite a high alligator cracking on this route. So if we're going to go and have a detailed look at it, I can click on the details button, and in this case, because of the type of data that's available, there's no detailed information available on the cracking on this road. We only have, if we go and look here, you can see we only have our general inspection. We don't have specific locations of cracks as we did on the previous road, but we can still take a good look around for this road. And if we just go down the road a little bit, you can see immediately from the cracks that we can see right here that this information is quite accurate. We can look at the surfacing. This is quite a young surfacing. We can look at the pavement information, etc. And in that way, we can confirm whether our model is basically doing what we want it to do, and identify any anomalies that we may need to fix in the model by applying more rules to the treatment selection process. So I have found that the sizing of the dots to give you a relative indication of where your spending is going to be, and also splitting your committed treatments and your model assigned treatments using these black or red dots is quite a useful feature of the Agatha app. So that's it for this demonstration. I just want to briefly discuss some of the prerequisites that you need to be aware of before you can think of using this tool. First of all, for this tool, your data must be in the Juno format. We require that your data has got a certain structure. We cannot handle any type of database. So essentially, you can use this tool if your network is already in Juno Viewer. It's very important that we have GPS centerline data. Of course, we can't show anything on a map if we don't have detailed GPS centerline available. For most of our clients, that is the case, that we actually do have that data for you, so that should not be a problem. Also, after the model has been run, the modeler needs to allow Lonrix to do some processing to create the information needed for those summary cards that you can see for each site. That only takes probably less than an hour to do. So the modeler, it's very easy for the modeler to get a new model output up and running in the Agatha app. And finally, Lonrix need to arrange for you to access Agatha. So we apply fairly strict security. You're not able to look at any network or any model output unless you have specific permission for that network. And so I think that's all we'll cover in this video. We're quite excited about the potential for this tool, and we'll look to develop that further this year. And we hope to integrate this into the Juno asset management system once we have had some feedback from clients during this coming year. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.